Okay, so you've done it. You've trained this amazing AI model. It's smart, it's crazy accurate, but here's the real question. Can it actually run where it matters? That's what we're talking about today. We're going to get into model optimization. That's the magic step that turns a powerful model into a truly useful one. Let's get right into it.
And this, right here, is the classic problem, isn't it? Your model gets incredible results when it's running on a beast of a server, the ones with all the GPUs and memory you could ever want. But trying to get that same model to run on your phone, or a tiny IoT device, or even just a cheap cloud server? Yeah, that is a completely different ballgame.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll really define this "it works on my machine" problem. Then we'll open up the optimization toolkit and see the main tricks of the trade. We'll cover how to get these models running on any hardware, look at some real-world examples, and wrap up with a final checklist for you. Getting a model to work in a perfect lab environment, that's really just the beginning. If you want it to actually create real value out in the world, it's got to be efficient, it needs to be scalable, and it better be cost-effective. Because honestly, a brilliant model that's too slow or costs a fortune to run, it's not a product, it's a science fair project.
And believe me, the consequences of not optimizing are, well, they're pretty painful. Your huge models, they just devour memory. Slow predictions mean high latency, which, let's be honest, makes for a terrible user experience. Nobody wants to wait. And the cloud costs? Oh man, they can absolutely torpedo your project's budget before you even get off the ground. And if you can't run on the edge, you're completely shutting the door on the entire world of mobile and IoT devices. These are the exact problems we're here to solve.
So, how in the world do we fix this? Well, the good news is we've got a whole toolkit full of powerful techniques designed specifically for this job, to make our AI models smaller, faster, and totally production ready. Let's open it up.
Okay, we're going to zoom in on 3 main techniques. Think of these as your secret weapons against a slow, bloated model. Pruning is like cleaning house. Quantization simplifies its language, makes it more efficient. And knowledge distillation? That's where you let a little model learn from a big one, getting all the smarts without the size.
All right, first up, pruning. And it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Picture a big, overgrown bush in your yard. What do? You grab your shears and you trim away all the dead wood, all the useless branches, right? Well, we do the exact same thing with neural networks. We find and snip away the connections and neurons that aren't really doing much, making the whole thing lighter and healthier.
And what you get is this incredible transformation. You go from this super dense, kind of tangled web of connections to something that's way more sparse and efficient. And what that means in the real world is fewer calculations, a smaller model size, and a serious boost in speed.
Okay, next up in our toolkit is quantization. Think of it like simplifying the model's language. Normally, a model uses these super precise long decimal numbers, right? Like 32-bit floats. Quantization is like telling it, hey, you don't need a thesaurus for every word. Just use simple everyday language. We swap those complex numbers for much simpler ones, like 8-bit integers.
And the payoff here is just massive. By lowering that precision, you can slash the model's memory footprint by up to 75%. That's huge. And it makes everything run way faster, which makes a world of difference, especially on the CPUs you find in, your phone or other everyday devices. All right, our third big technique is knowledge distillation. And this one is just so clever. So, you take your gigantic, super smart teacher model and you use it to train a much smaller, nimbler student model. The student literally just learns to copy what the teacher does. It mimics its predictions, and in the process, it absorbs all that knowledge, but stays small and fast. It's like getting all the wisdom without carrying around a giant library.
Okay, so we've pruned, we've quantized, our model is now lean and mean. But how do we get it to run, well, everywhere? This is the crucial next step. It's all about bridging the gap between our optimized model and all the different kinds of hardware it needs to run on.
And the secret weapon here is a universal format called ONNX. That stands for Open Neural Network Exchange. Seriously, just think of it like a passport for your AI model. It's super straightforward. You export your model from whatever you built it in, PyTorch, TensorFlow, into this standard.onx file. And once it's in that format, the ONNX runtime can execute it on pretty much any platform you can imagine. We're talking CPUs, GPUs, C++, Java, you name it, it just works.
But wait, there's more. To really max out your performance, you can use hardware-specific acceleration tools. This is like getting a custom-tuned engine for your car. NVIDIA has TensorRT for its GPUs. Apple has Core ML for iPhones and iPads.
Google has the NANPI for Android. These tools make sure you are squeezing every single drop of performance out of whatever device you're targeting.
And the results? I mean, they can be absolutely mind-blowing. When you use a tool like NVIDIA's TensorRT on an already optimized model, you can see a speedup of 5 times, or even more. This isn't just a small improvement. This is the kind of performance that makes things like real-time self-driving cars and advanced robotics actually possible.
Okay, so we've gone through all this technical stuff. But why does it actually matter? What's the point? Because here's the thing. Optimized models aren't some niche academic idea. They are literally the engine powering so many of the AI tools we use every single day. Let's look at some real-world examples.
Think about healthcare, where doctors can now run complex medical imaging analysis right on a tablet at a patient's bedside. Or the automotive industry, with the insane real-time processing needed for self-driving cars to see the world. How about retail? That app on your phone that instantly recognizes a product you point your camera at? Or even just the smart suggestions that pop up in your keyboard app. All of that, every single one, is powered by model optimization.
But it's super important to remember that optimization doesn't stop with the model itself. The way you serve it in production is also a huge piece of the puzzle. Things like batching multiple requests together, caching common answers so you don't have to compute them again, using asynchronous calls so you're not blocking anything. All these server-side tricks can make a massive difference in how your app actually performs and how much it costs to run.
Okay, let's pull all of this together. We've covered a ton of ground. So I want to give you a clear, simple checklist you can use for your own optimization projects.
Okay, so here's the game plan. First, you have to start with a solid working model. That's your baseline. Then you start combining these techniques. Maybe you prune it first, then you quantize it. And this is absolutely crucial, you have to measure your accuracy after every step. Make sure you haven't broken anything. Once you're happy, you use a tool like Onyx to make it compatible with everything. Then, for that extra kick, you use a hardware-specific tool like TensorRT for maximum speed on a GPU. And finally, once it's out in the wild, you have to monitor its performance. It's a full life cycle.
I want to leave you with this one thought, because it just perfectly sums up everything we've talked about today. A model too big to deploy is a model that will never be used. It's that simple. At the end of the day, optimization is what truly unlocks the potential of AI. It's the bridge that takes an idea from the lab into the real world. So I'll turn the final question over to you. Now that you know how to make your AI fast, efficient, and ready to run anywhere on the planet, what are you going to build?